Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Ahdurin region. I'm your host, Ahdurin himself, and we are back with another episode of the Ace Attorney series. Things are going great, as you can tell. Our person that we're about to be interviewing, testimonying, not sure what the exact proper terminology is. The person we're interrogating. There you go. Not exactly thrilled with us, as you can tell by the fact that their eyes look like snake slits. But we will figure it out. Anyway, if you have no idea what's going on or who Angel is, all you have to do is check out the previous episode by going down the description below. Check in the description. There's a playlist right there. You can check out all the old episodes. While you're down there, leave a like, comment, subscribe, do all those things that you have to do when supporting a YouTube channel. And so, let's hear what the new testimony is, because the new testimony is bound to be better than the old one. Maybe. Lana Skye intended to murder Detective Goodman. That's why she called the victim all the way to the prosecutor's office. I'm sure the chief prosecutor had a grudge against the victim. Nothing else could drive that human machine to plunge the knife in again and again.
The victim was summoned from the police department to the prosecutor's office. It does sound a lot like premeditation, doesn't it?
So if I order pizza, does that mean I'm planning to kill the delivery boy?
In any case, the defense may now cross-examine the witness.
I call Emma Skye to the stand to restate that the pizza thought. Alright, let's start pressing. Let's go. Hold up. You said that, but you haven't told us how you know. That's what I'm about to tell you, rookie.
I believe what she just said was a mere prelude to the story she's about to tell. Try not to interrupt her again.
Rookie. Never interrupt a storyteller. It's like pulling a bun out of the oven half-baked. Something's half-baked here, alright, and it's you. Get him, Phoenix. Try not to confuse the defense witness. They're not very quick on their feet. Now, why did you believe the suspect had intentions to murder the victim? Her actions speak for themselves. Did Edward just call me out for being a fool? Man, I have beaten you. You want to go against do you want to compare our records right now? You want to compare our records, huh? Right now, I'm 2-0 and I beat your boss, so get at me. You have no proof that Miss Skye called him here. You have no proof that she didn't.
Mr. Edgeworth, thoughts?
There is no record of a call made on the defendant, Miss Lana Skye's phone. She might have written him a letter. Come on, you could have tried public phone first, at least. In any case, the victim came to the prosecutor's office where he was murdered.
I'm sure he had a reason to be there. Miss, why do you think it was the suspect who summoned the victim that day?
I'm sure this chief prosecutor had a grudge. No. Hold up. What kind of grudge are you talking about here? Well, I wouldn't know that. Of course you don't. That's because he didn't have a grudge. Rookie. I have a lunchbox here. Now, what's inside? How am I supposed to know? See, we agree there is a lunchbox here, but we don't know what's inside. A person's life is like a lunchbox with pretzels. Don't you agree?
I get it, that's why my lunch was so salty.
This judge isn't very good with metaphors. The suspect had a grudge against Detective Goodman. Will you tell us your basis for thinking this? Simple. Nothing else could have drive the plunging in again. Hold up, wait a minute. A human machine? That's a Phoenix.
Objection!
Thank you, Edgeworth. I'm on your side for you. Please, can't you find fault with something of substance, Mr. Wright? Note to self, Edward's sighs smell like citrus fruit, sorry. Emma, what? You say again and again. How many times did she stab him exactly? We often say chopped into 1,000 pieces, but we don't actually mean 1,000 pieces. What difference does it make if the deed is done? She's getting mad at me.
Let's just say she stabbed him several times and leave it at that.
Look at that. This is a murder case. Where are the facts at? Mr. Wright, you should speak up if you have an objection, you know. Miss Stars turned out to be as short-tempered as she looked when we met her. Challenging her abilities as a detective really set her off. The short wick burns out the fastest. It's a scientific fact. I wonder, wouldn't it depend on the size of the candle? I mean, add more wax and even a really short wick would burn longer. Obviously, more scientific testing is required. Emma, thank you. All right. There's got to be something we present. What it is, though, is the real question. Is it this? There we go, right there. Apologies for that. I had to step away really quickly. What you might have noticed in that brief pausing moment on this screen is that this has one knife wound, and there were multiple. That's probably not right. So I think we should
Objection!
What's the objection here? The wizard's statement is clearly faulty, Your Honor.
I'm sorry, but I can see nothing faulty. Unfortunately, I will have to penalize you, Mr.
Oh, did I do it in the wrong statement? Well, that's a penalty. Here we go. This is the thing. I think I put it on the wrong statement. Nothing else could drive the human machine to plug into the knife again. There we go. The music stopped. That's a sign. You say she stabbed him again and again, but you couldn't have witnessed that. I don't think I had the right terminology here. Are you testing me? Or right style? Then I'll test you. With my moss surprise. I'm afraid the moss is undergrowing our feet as we wait, Miss Starr.
What do you mean?
I shouldn't have to explain this, but take a look. The autopsy report states that death was due to a loss of blood from one stab wound.
Uh-huh, you're right. Good show, Mr. Edgeworth.
What a hunk. He's my hero. Really. Emma, I literally... No. What about my objection? No one noticed that? Fine. Whatever. Fine. Well, witness? No.
Well, witness.
You got the crime scene set, right?
Oh, thanks.
I always believed that no one could ever mistake ketchup for blood. Now, I realize that such mistakes are possible. So, you're saying you mistook something for blood? She lifted a knife. I thought I saw blood at her breast. Splattered blood from her victim. That's why I thought she must have stabbed him at least twice.
And tell us what you saw that you thought was blood. Testify here.
We have another testification? The red muffler looked like blood to me. That's how ghastly the whole scene was. Is she wearing a muffler? There's no muffler there. Did you take that off or something like that? I think this has to be it, right?
Objection!
Miss Starr, I demand an explanation. The witness is clearly not suited for detective work. What? The suspect was not wearing a scarf or muffler of any kind when she stabbed the victim. And you've proved it yourself with this photograph. Edgeworth, I appreciate you being on my side here, at least in this particular instance, for some reason. But why are you stealing the thunder, man? Huh? That can't be. Only a professional lunch lady could be so utterly clueless. Congratulations. Perhaps you finally found your true calling in life.
Harsh words, but good.
In the end, Mr. Edgeworth prevails. Emma... Oh, no. What was my objection? Chopped liver? But it was there. Scarf. No, not that. But something red. Really. Well now, where were we? The witness has given us an entertaining interlude, but back to business. What?
Very well, witness. Continue your testimony. You saw the crime and apprehended the suspect. Tell us about that.
Very well. I do remember some things accurately, at least. Ultimately, we couldn't shake the most important part of our testimony. Most important part? Oh, I was thinking that. I'm not sure how you knew what I was thinking, but sure. The part where your sister stabs the victim. This next testimony might just be the moment of truth. So, apprehending the suspect. After the murder, the suspect attempted to run behind a partition off to her side. I quickly caught her, explained her rights to her, and arrested her on the spot. Ah yes, when I arrested her, she mentioned the muffler. That's what had me confused in my earlier testimony. The chief prosecutor made to escape, but against the Angel Star, resistance is futile.
You are quite determined about this scarf, aren't you?
I strike like a snake and bite like a cobra. That's me, Angel Star. It's not a very good metaphor. First off, a cobra is a kind of snake. Don't bother me with details unless you want to get bitten. Nope, no thanks. I'm good. Note to self, Mr. Wright is weak against poisonous snake bites. Aren't we all? The chief prosecutor tried to resist, but her efforts were in vain. She knocked my hands aside, kicked over an oil drum. An oil drum? Hard to imagine that. Oh, she's beautiful but deadly. A predator, this one. A leopard woman. Wow. Wow. Wow.
Very well, Mr. Wright. Your cross-examination, if you will.
Well, this is going to be interesting. Let's figure this one out. Alright, so you try to run away. So where is this partition on the floor plans? I'm sure she means this wall next to the car. That's right. There was a wall there, about 6 feet high. She was obviously trying to hide herself. Quite a natural thing for a criminal to do. And what did you do then? Cotter explained her face. Okie doke. You say quickly. Were you close to the suspect? As I just said, I was only 30 feet away from her the whole time. Maybe I should pressure for more details? Yeah, why not? I'd like to see this on the floor plans, just to be safe. The lunchline car was... She was a visitor, thus she was parked in B block. So you witnessed the murder from here.
That would make it about 30 feet from the car, yes.
Is that correct, Miss Starr? Yes, that's right.
Well, there was a chain link fence in front of you.
I went over it, of course.
Amazing! Took off a quaid lunch lady athlete indeed.
Would have taken her a little time to climb over the fence. So she couldn't have gotten to my sister that fast. And that fence was about 9 feet high, too. So how did Miss Sky not get away? When I arrested her, she mentioned the muffler. That is intriguing. She mentioned the muffler. What exactly did she say? If I remember exactly, I would have told you in my testimony. Cheeky. Anyway, all I heard her say was the word muffler.
Just that one word.
So, what you heard wasn't the suspect talking to you, but to someone else. Yes, the chief prosecutor was talking on her phone. Her phone? She can't... mean... Wait a minute. By phone, do you mean the cell phone discovered at the crime scene? Yes, ultimately. Ultimately? My memory... It's like a salmon heading upstream, you say.
No, the court doesn't see, Miss Starr.
The chief prosecutor first attempted to use the phone hanging off the wall.
On the wall?
Well, that's right. Near the car, there was an emergency phone on the wall. Apparently, it was out of order.
And so she used her cell phone.
Indeed, the emergency phone was out of order that day.
Good witnessing witness.
Good witnessing? Whatever happened to good testifying?
You should, of course, add this to your testimony.
The things I do to please this rookie defense attorney. Okay. I saw it all, how she tried the phone on the wall, but had to use her cell phone instead. Okay. I think we can repress it. Oh, wait, I want to go back. I think we can repress this statement, right? It'll add more details. Do you think you could restate your testimony for the court?
I was gonna ask the same thing.
I'll only say this one time, so listen close, rookies. Okay, this is slightly different. Chief prosecutor stabbed the victim and ran behind the partition. Then she picked up the emergency phone on the wall, but it was out of order. So she pulled her own cell phone out of her pocket.
And during that time, you climbed over the chain link fence.
Then when I boldly grabbed her arm, chief prosecutor hung up her phone. And you saw her doing this? What is it, Mr. Wright? Hmm. Wait a minute. She ducks behind the wall. Doesn't. If she's behind the wall, how do you see it? I don't like that. Let's try something else here. She made to escape. Can you be more specific? I don't like that previous statement. She pressed aside my hand and ran. It was a terrible sight to see, like a dollop of lard on a pâté of foie gras. Foie gras? Huh? She even kicked over an oil drum at me. An oil drum?
There was an oil drum lying on its side at the scene of the crime.
But it's strange.
What's that?
She wanted to escape. Why didn't she run the other way?
The parking lot entrance.
That's right. It doesn't make any sense that she would run from behind that partition to the oil drums. Excellent. More mysteries. Wish we could solve a few before finding more, though. So Miss Guy tried to run. Sorry, my sister is so suspicious, Mr. Wright.
Not sorry as I am.
But she didn't do it. You have to believe me.
Are we restarting it? Okay. I do not feel good at all about that, this. I don't like this at all. And we're probably still using something recent, so not this. This one, maybe? I think we should show this. I think the idea is to, like, explain that you're over here in B, you're over here, Lana goes behind, uses the telephone. How do you know that? She goes behind the wall. You know, she could have gone to the security room, she could have gone outdoor, she could have just gone somewhere else. I think this is what we present. Let's try this. Miss Starr, I have to conclude that you have a personal grudge against Miss Lana Skye.
Objection!
The witness is a former detective. Her testimony is unmarred by personal bias. Well, who would have thought you'd be my knight in shining armor, prosecutor? You who, together with the chief prosecutor, kicked me out 2 years ago. Well, Miss Starr, this is a fatal contradiction with your testimony. How do you explain this? I don't know if you heard me snap, but I did actually snap. I don't know what you're talking about. Mess with me, and I'll make you cough it all up. Let's look at the floor plans together, shall we? You said you witnessed the crime from this point. However, that's true. You couldn't possibly have seen Miss Skye making that phone call. I believe you see what I'm getting at here. That emergency phone was on the back side of this partition. If indeed you were in B block, you couldn't have seen it. What? I can't do the exclaims, which is unfortunate.
Order! Order! What is the meaning of this?
It's simple, Your Honor. She's not coughing up lunch. She's coughing up lies. Get 'em, Phoenix. Get those lines.
Objection!
It's quite a claim, Mr. Wright. Perhaps you will allow me a question. That's exactly what lie this witness has told the court. Here's where the counterattack begins. Can't afford to get this wrong. The witness lied about... I think it's where she saw it, right? She had to be on the other side to see what she saw, or she's lying about... But she wouldn't have seen anything to lie about. So where she saw it. Miss Skye tried to use the emergency phone, but it was out of order. What is significant about this fact? Nothing. Therefore, it would be pointless for Miss Starr to lie about it.
Pointless to lie. I see.
But say the witness did actually see Miss Skye using the emergency phone. It would mean Miss Starr witnessed the crime from a different location.
Objection!
A different location. Now that's a pointless lie if I've ever heard one.
Objection!
Before you call my lie pointless, at least let me tell it.
Let me ask a question to our clever wordsmith, Mr. Wright. As where was the witness when she saw the crime?
All the testimony we've heard until now points until one location. The place from which Miss Starr witnessed this crime was here. I don't think it's anywhere around here. Could it be here? Because she'd be able to see the telephone stuff and be able to see this stuff here. I think she's in the security room.
Take that!
This is the only place where she could have been.
The security guard room.
Indeed, the security room, in the underground parking lot is well positioned. It's built on the second floor, so you can see the entire lot.
She would have been able to see the emergency phone from there. But why there? There are many other places where she could have seen the phone.
Not in this case, Your Honor. The witness, not being part of the prosecutor's office, couldn't park in A block. The only place where she could have seen the crime and the back of the partition is here. I remember in your testimony you said you brought a lunch to your boyfriend in the security guard room. Yes? Well, Miss Starr? Yeah. How many years have I been getting the better of men to think that the tables could be turned? Today, a man has got the better of Angel Starr. Yeah, but you've been lying about this.
Order! Witness! What have you done? You used to be a detective. You should know better.
I'm not turning back. The guilty will be punished. I'll do what I must to make sure justice prevails. Guilty? Talking about Miss Sky? Mr. Wright, doesn't this strike you as odd? Why did Miss Starr lie? Doesn't make any sense. Huh? You could have just said she saw the crime from the security guard station. It wouldn't change anything. Exactly. This photograph tells all. It was the defendant who stabbed the victim. The truth still stands.
Objection!
Hold up, Edgeworth, come on. It still stands. I disagree, Mr. Edgeworth. What? A witness is found to be lying and guilty of perjury. She knows this. She wouldn't risk that without a good reason.
So tell us what her reason was, Mr. Wright.
Huh? Me?
Who else?
Mr. Wright, let's review what we know. So, here's our situation. Alright. Miss Starr witnessed the crime from the security guard station. She lied and said she saw it from B block. Must make a vital difference. But what? What changes there? Lighting doesn't matter. The angle? Or distance to the crime? I think it's the distance, right? Right, because that's the whole her whole case is the concept that she was able to catch up to Lana, but that changes the distance. So instead of it being instantaneous, it's now minutes. I think it's got to be the distance here. Changes the distance between her and the scene of the crime.
Objection!
My condolences, Mr. Wright, but one look at the floor plans and it's quite clear. The distance between the scene of the crime and the guard station is 30 feet. I don't see how that would change what you could see.
Objection!
Hold up, Edgeworth. What she saw is not in question here. What matters is the time it would take for her to reach the scene of the crime. Oh. Miss Starr, you witnessed the crime from the security guard station. Now, how long did it take you to go from there to the scene of the crime where you arrested Miss Scott?
Well, witness.
You. Yes. You ordered the squid wheels, right? Well, my lunch has gone from low to inedible. I was bringing a PB&J lunch with fresh boysenberry jam to my boyfriend.
Boysenberry for the boyfriend.
He wasn't at the station, so I waited. I witnessed the crime from the glass wall station. Before I knew what I was doing, I found myself running towards the scene. But the door was locked. I couldn't open it. That's why I had to go through the visitors' parking lot in B block.
That's quite a detour.
Yeah, certainly, because you still got to do that and climb the fence and everything. Probably took me at least 5 minutes to get to the scene of the crime.
5 minutes? This changes things considerably.
But it was that woman over there in the defendant's chair who stabbed him. I know it. I have photographic evidence. I swear it. I swear it on my finest plastic spork.
You have a point. The spork is a wonderful invention.
Judge, not now. Would you like another caviar lunch?
Absolutely.
Oh, boy. Mr. Wright, you have to do something. Have any evidence to stop this? Yeah, let's object.
Objection!
Hold up. 5 minutes between the witnessing of the murder and the arrest. Think about it. You could make a pasta in the amount of time if you like it al dente. I got lunchboxes that tie pasta in the knots, rookie. No, 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 you misunderstand. A 5-minute blank. Is that strange? Strange. If you were a criminal, what would you be doing with 5 minutes, Your Honor? Well, I guess I'd flee the scene. Hey, don't get the wrong idea. I didn't kill anyone. Judge, we know it's not you. Look, but you have the instincts of a killer. You would run. But this time, it was different. This guy dawdled at the scene. She even had her picture taken. No true criminal would act this way. It's inconceivable. Yeah. Grr. That was terrible. Well then, seems we come to the end of this testimony. The witness has a grudge against the defendant in a blank in a testimony. Yeah. Is Judge Wright is the next witness ready to go? Unfortunately, I appear to have overestimated this witness on account of her professional history. We did it. We screwed that can shut, Mr. Wright. I don't know if that works, but sure. It's too close, though. I'm afraid that the cough-up queen has been dethroned. That court is adjourned. All right, let's go, guys. What? Mr. Edgeworth, you ordered the squid wheels, right? Wait, that's the one you tried to foist onto me. I prefer to not take it in the. I prefer to not take the defense team's leftovers. Anything else to say? Might be able to save you. I have decisive evidence. Whoa, what was that? Another one of her tricks? Trick lunchboxes? My apologies, but we have no further questions to ask of you, Miss Starr. Is this your jumbo lunchbox? Woo! Triple decker. Out of deference to the witness's determination, I'll allow one more testimony. Let's hear about this decisive evidence. Like the Lunchland motto says, you won't be disappointed. Now what you gonna pull out of our lunchbox this time? We'll look at this decisive evidence in the next episode. Thank you very much, everyone, for listening, watching, and supporting the Jordan region in any way, shape, or form that we do. We've been talking to Angel for a while, and I know that in general, this case is considered to be one of the longer ones. I can definitely see that. But until then, everyone, and until next time, take care.